Hello, my name is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Aging Like a Guru. Who, me? A number of years ago, my friend David Bennett wrote a book called Journey to Purpose. And in Journey to Purpose, David wrote about his near-death experiences and the learnings and the practices that evolved because of the experiences he had in this near-death experience. And I go back to read David's book over and over again because so much of what he's saying resonates with me. He has a very relaxed style of speaking and doing storytelling, and the story itself, it really engages that part of me that desires to know his experience, living vicariously, and good storytellers do that for us. And I also, his teachings inspire me to engage to a greater degree in my own spiritual practice, in my own practice of being a human being and being a spiritual being in this human experience. And so his teachings really take me to the next level of developing my relationship with my spiritual self and my inner guru. That's sort of what I want to talk about today, in the sense that I'm listening when I'm looking for something that I want, that resonates with me. I know certain focusing places to go, like David's book or the book Oneness, or if I'm wanting to listen to certain music, I know what it is I'm kind of wanting to resonate with at the time. And so what I want to speak to today is you as a listener. You're listening for something, and you're also listening from a place within you that's looking for confirmation or resonance. I think resonance is such an important word and sort of underutilized in terms of how we be in the world. And we can say, a lot of times people go, oh, that I really vibrate with that, or I really resonate with that. And we know there's an alignment with ourselves when we can say things like that. So one of the things that I came to is that you as an audience, you as a listener, you probably have a sense of what I'm already going to say, and you're looking for that confirmation. You're looking for the resonance of who's saying what that resonates with me. And for me, that's such an empowering process and such an empowering question, because we're looking for that place. And looking is a very empowering process, that we're looking for what resonates with me. And I'm saying that as you. You're looking for what resonates for you. And you're looking for how to cultivate more of the truth of you. And I guess I'm speaking perhaps from that inner guru of you, but that inner wisdom, the you that is bigger than the context of life, bigger than the worries of fears and fears of financial issues or health issues. This is the bigger you that's looking for answers. But you're looking for answers to questions that are inside you, questions that are really important to you. And my sense is, and a lot of spiritual teachers will tell you this, you already have the answers to those questions, and you're looking outside yourself for confirmation of those questions. One of the things I found interesting is that as we learn, so we're looking into these podcasts or audio or YouTube videos, sometimes we're looking to learn something, and what we're looking to learn is something that resonates with us. So for instance, I love painting, and the people that I watch on YouTube doing paintings are people that I align with or resonate with in terms of their style of speaking. I will listen to and watch Cinnamon Cooney, the art Sherpa, because I think she's awesome. Her style is so gentle and present, and it makes me feel good. So I go and I listen, and I've learned a lot from her. And there's another YouTube person called Painting with Jane. I love her because her style is warm and gentle and present. So I learn from these people because I'm aligned with their style, if you will, their style of being in the world. And a third is Angela Anderson. So those are sort of my three painting gurus. And they're not necessarily what would be considered fine art. They're not going to end up in the museum. But I love their style. I love who they are. So they're who I resonate with, and that's who I keep going back to. So the reason I'm saying that is you learn what you want to learn, and from the place of resonance and not from a place of necessarily an academic perspective, which we're trained is the right one. And I did some research this morning, and there's a learning pyramid that I think I knew it existed, but in terms of its picture, and I've got the link in the description below. But the learning pyramid reflects studies that show that you will retain basically 5% of what you're listening to in a lecture, and only 10% of what you read. So our academic orientation in the world isn't really working. The reading and the writing kind of thing doesn't really work. The reading and the listening. When we write, I integrate a lot of learning in my writing. And I write to teach. I write to express. I write to provide information to other people. So that's a really good way of integrating my learning or what I want to learn. But the other element is that we retain 75% of what we learn by practicing and by doing. And we retain 90% by teaching others. And teaching has been a huge form of learning for me, in the sense that every place that I have to teach, I'm learning more and more. I'm integrating the information in a way that I couldn't if I just read it in a book or just listen to somebody else saying that. So in a sense, an example again is painting. Is I watch people paint and I really pay attention to what they're doing, but unless I'm actually painting, actually trying to put together what's going on, I can't learn the process. I can't learn. I've been working on a picture that's based on clouds, these dramatic clouds, and I'm having such a hard time. And I could quit, but if I quit, I'm not going to really learn what I'm attempting to learn through this practice. So it's one thing to listen to what we're saying, and then it's another thing to actually begin to practice what's in the world, what's coming to you in these podcasts, for instance. So part of the intention of this podcast today is to say, hey, you've got a knowing inside you, and that knowing is looking for resonance in the world, that your truth is a hell yes for you, and that when you hear it outside yourself, that's a hell yes inside, and that place of confirmation and a woohoo, there's somebody that sees the world the way that I do. That was a big deal for me when I could actually trust that there are people in the world that see things the way that I do. And in fact, that's what spurred me on more into this spiritual journey, is knowing that there are people out there that think a certain way and it works for them in terms of spiritual truths. And if it's true for them, then it's got to be true for me, I believe. So that's the way I work. So in terms of aging like a guru, we are listening. I believe we're becoming more refined in what we're listening for as we move forward, as we unfold into this process of aging, into our full maturity, into our full potential. And in being honest with ourselves, like what we're listening for, we can attune more into having that be reflected back to us. I want to include that this is scary work, because we're, instead of listening to and deferring our own truths, our own wisdom to other people, which we've been doing, most of us have been doing all our lives, it's really scary to start to own what's true for you. It's really scary for me to own what's true for me, and actually in these podcasts be sharing that with you. It's really scary, but it's really important that it allows me to declare, hey, this is what's true for me, and I'm not deferring to anyone else in this truth. And that's what I want to offer to you, is to be clearer about what you're listening for in resonance with that part of you that knows an inner harmony, an inner connection, and an inner union with something greater than yourself. And in being able to do that, you become more courageous and more empowered to live into that truth, regardless of what age you're at. And it really empowers you to also, each of us, to have a more exciting, curious, fascinating adventure as we age into this process, aging into our guru-ness. All right, that's it for today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.